While there are many reasons for fires, let's look at the role of the sash in a fire. In case of a fire, close the sash completely to minimize the amount of air feeding the fire. The sash also keeps the fire inside the hood and minimizes its spread. The proper action when a fire does occur varies. You need to understand the SOP of your lab and respond accordingly. This is a very complex topic that varies from lab to lab, and because of its complexity, we offer a training module that focuses just on fume hood fires. Fires are very dangerous and expensive events, so preventing them should be an overriding objective. Small fires can quickly spread and become a major event. In fact, a small fire resulted in the death of a researcher at UCLA, partially because she was not wearing a lab coat. Given the material she was working with, she should have not only been wearing a lab coat, but a fire retardant lab coat. Not only do fires harm people, they damage equipment, destroy work, and even a small fire can take a building out of service for months, displacing the users and destroying research. But fires do happen, and the sash is there to protect you. Back to your breathing zone. Given the complexity of laboratory ventilation and room conditions, it's nearly impossible for any hood to contain 100% of the time. We can almost guarantee some loss of containment. In many of the demonstration videos, we use smoke or theatrical fog to help you visualize the airflow and show loss of containment. But in real life, the fugitive chemicals are likely to be invisible and maybe even odorless. So what you can't see can harm you. Whether or not you inhale those fugitive chemicals is greatly influenced by the position of the sash in relationship to your breathing zone. Keeping the sash closed as much as reasonable helps protect you. Now let's talk about explosions. They come in all shapes and sizes and can be caused in many different ways, from a boiling breaker exploding to an explosion caused by flammable vapors. The most common byproduct of an explosion is shrapnel. In a fume hood, the most common shrapnel is broken glass. And with broken glass often comes chemical splashes. Again, the sash is there to be a barrier between the event and you. Like fires, explosions are all too common. They're harder to predict and harder to prevent. The difference is that the damage is usually concentrated on those using the hood or those nearby the explosion. Remember, from the user's point of view, the fume hood is a PPE. It's also important to understand all the PPEs and safety devices that a fume hood user should be aware of. The standards are a lab coat and safety glasses. They're a must. Things like gloves, face shields, goggles, maybe even a respirator may be appropriate depending on what you're doing. You need to understand the risk and hazards of the material you're working with. But just in case there is an incident, you should also be aware of things like the fire extinguisher, the eye wash, and the safety shower, and know how to properly use them. The sash is there to protect you, and the degree of protection depends on how you use the sash.